Folks, so you know, I was browsing my favorite subreddit, r cringe, which, as you all know, is of course just screen caps of my face and segments from my stream, and I came across this, and it was really, really interesting. And I was going to say funny. That was the first word that I wanted, to come out the tip of my tongue, but I don't know, man. The thread is locked due to all the contentious discussion going on within. Kyle Rittenhouse's mother is saying she's going to sue Joe Biden. I actually saw the entirety of this Tucker Carlson conversation with Kyle Rittenhouse's mother. For those of you who don't know, Kyle Rittenhouse is the upstanding defender of Western civilization who illegally brandished a firearm that he had also acquired illegally, took it to another state, and then menaced people until inevitably conflict took place. Anyway, this is Kyle Rittenhouse's mother. And I'm going to be frank with this. Even though I find the contents of this interesting, I'm going to try to direct my commentary in a direction other than just making fun of the mom. So keep that in mind. If it feels like there are some obvious shots that I'm not taking, please keep that in mind.
You saw the Joe Biden for President campaign smear your son as a white supremacist. What was your reaction?
How dare him do that to my son? That's my son that he did that to. And I'm not going to back down from him. And he is not a white supremacist. He's not a racist. He's my son, and I know him, and he is none of that, what Joe Biden said.
So there's no...
So there are a lot of shots I could take here. I'm just going to chalk this up to nervousness. But I think there's actually a really interesting conversation underlying all of this. And it's, what do you do if a president-elect or a presidential candidate smears, like, your kid or something, you know? Like think about it for a second. Do we have any direct evidence she can't read the teleprompter? Yeah, and I'm going to attribute that to nervousness. But whatever the case may be, we don't have any direct evidence that Kyle Rittenhouse is a white supremacist, Now, we can infer that from the fact that he went out of his way to go to a different state with an illegally brandished firearm to menace civil rights protesters. I can infer that he's probably a white supremacist. But, we don't have a signed affidavit. So what do you do in a situation like this, where Biden calls your... It reminds me a little bit of like the Bizarro World version of when Trump called that random old guy who was shoved to the ground by the police an Antifa dude. Remember that? Remember when that guy got knocked onto the ground and hit his head in the concrete, and Trump was like, it's probably Antifa, probably a terrorist, I don't know. This feels like the Bizarro World version of that, where that was like a completely spurious and unjustified accusation that was done for no reason other than to protect the police. And this is like Kyle Rittenhouse killed people and was definitely at least within spitting distance of white supremacy, optically. And like, so what do you do about this?
No, as far as I know, and we looked today, but I don't think there's any evidence at all that that's true. I don't think there's, online evidence or video evidence showing your son endorsing extremist racial positions.
Keep in mind that for years, Tucker Carlson's top writer was a neo-Nazi who would brag to his neo-Nazi friends on neo-Nazi forums that he was sneaking neo-Nazi dogma into Tucker Carlson's script. So maybe this guy isn't the best identifier of what is and is not white supremacy.
Is there?
No, there isn't. Kyle, he's a caring young man. He went to Kenosha to help people. And... Yep. What Joe Biden did and showed my son's picture, his image, and labeled him as a white supremacist, I will take him down.
Oh.
Well, he's not the only one. I mean, the people around Biden have casually attacked very many people.
I just want to say, by the way, as somebody who's occasionally had conversations that play out exactly like the one that's going on between these two, cadence-wise, I can't fathom how awkward Tucker Carlson must feel right now.
People with that label,
yes.
Which is a very serious thing to call someone, as you know, in this country. The FBI will investigate you for it. So it's not a small thing at all. Why do you think he did that?
Because to win the election.
Is this really the best picture they could have taken of him? Look at him. He looks like a cultist. He's like yelling in anger. He has his gun up. and the lights and people behind him look like people like with torches or something, you know? I mean, like, I'm not saying it is. I'm just saying, like, this picture doesn't look like the kind of picture you would want to put up if you were trying to frame this guy in a positive light. You know what I mean? You'd think you'd want to put up a picture of him, like, I don't know, like 8 years old blowing bubbles or some shit like that. You know what I mean?
He cheaters don't win. And
What?
he used my son's image to get votes.
Yeah. Have they, has the Biden campaign, the people around Joe Biden, have they responded to you in any way?
No. What I know of, no. I don't know about the lawyers or anything like that, but towards me and my family, no.
What?
So
where's your son now?
My son is in Kenosha County Jail at the moment. He's been there for 77 to 79 days there. We're raising money to try to get him home. I just need people to help me to bring my son home. Please donate anything you can.
Nice. Rittenhouse's bail was set at $2 million. I'm actually surprised she hasn't been able to raise that much, considering how high profile this case was. I'm really, really surprised that they haven't been able to raise that much, you know? After a Fox News appearance, it's possible they're going to be able to, you know? You can make so much fucking money as a conservative just anytime you do anything to own the libs. Shoot a couple people at a protest, whatever. People will flood your GoFundMe. People will flood your GoFundMe. You get an insane amount of money, you know? For just any time you're like a conservative celebrity. We're hard on our celebrities. If you're a lefty and you get prominence, like at a protest or fighting the police or anything like that, you know what? You get a fucking hospital bill, okay? We don't do this shit. We're like a Antifa guy fights the police and then they get to do a media circuit on CNN, MSNBC, NBC, ABC, and get like $2 million off of a GoFundMe. We don't get that, you know? That's not a benefit that we get. Unfortunately. Yeah, BBC, fly over to the fucking UK, do it over there. That one girl who lied about being a Trump supporter and paid her college debt, lol. Yeah, dude, there have been cases where, like, it'll literally just be a pretty girl, and she'll be like, my parents cut me off because they don't like that I support Trump. MAGA 2020 boys. And they'll wear, like, a tight-fitting shirt with, like, Trump's, like, sweaty asshole fucking printed on it. And they get, like, $40,000. They're like, oh, queen, you know? The ultimate simps, these people. Anyway, obviously this Kyle Rittenhouse mom versus Joe Biden lawsuit's not gonna do anything at all. So I'm not exactly worried about Joe Biden legally. In fact, I have a feeling this whole publicity stunt may have just been a way to try to get the $2 million bail for Kyle Rittenhouse. That seems like the only possible outcome of this, but yeah. It's just really weird. It's just really fucking weird, dude. I don't know. It's not surprising to me that Kyle Rittenhouse would turn out the way that he did with support from parents like that. Or parent, of course. I don't know. I don't know what Kyle Rittenhouse's family situation is, so I don't really know. But I think at the end of the day, if there's one thing I want to reiterate, more importantly than anything else, it's to remember that our enemies are sad and lonely, okay? And desperate. And that doesn't make them any less dangerous, but it does mean that, like, at the heart of every neo-Nazi and white supremacist is somebody who took not getting laid in high school the worst possible way, or somebody who didn't get enough affection from their family, or somebody who, all of them are products of circumstances conspiring against them, not in like a they were born unlucky way, but more like a they don't know how to accept the blame for their own life problems kind of way. You know? It's fucking sad though, Vosh. How do you fix/help that? Well, the biggest thing you can do is give them a better community, you know. And Innuendo Studios talked about this in many of his videos. But essentially, people will mold their political beliefs to suit the needs of the communities that they're in. Okay, if you're born in a bad community, most people are going to turn out bad. People like the affirmation you get from being, you know, with those other people, and we need to provide them that community space. That's why I think what I do is so important, you know? There are lefties who say, we don't need recovering fascists and the left, they're a danger. I strongly disagree. If you don't give them those spaces, they stay fascists. Let me give you an example. I've talked to multiple people who are exactly like this, okay? Multiple people, all right? Are you ready for it? They have said they grew up fascist. Like, nobody grows up fascist, but they grew up and kind of adopted those, you know, beliefs and mannerisms. And they went deeper and deeper and deeper. And one day it's watching feminists get wrecked videos. And 2 years later, it's, you know, reading up on how the Jews sank the Lusitania to secure the gold vault of Fort Knox. And eventually, you know, they have this realization, or they have like a moment, it snaps in their head, and they think, what the fuck am I doing? But then, after they realize that, they think, I'm fucked. I'm a piece of shit. I'm crazy. There's no way any other social groups are going to accept me. I can't go be friends with normal, normie people, or lefties or whatever. I'm fucked, you know? I'm in too deep. I can't recover from this. Yeah, who here in chat has felt that? Like, at some point you realized you were far enough on the right, and then you realized, holy shit, like, I can't pull out of this. Like, this is... Yeah, I know some of you have felt that. Yeah. And unfortunately, sometimes when people have that feeling, they're correct, because there aren't other social spaces that'll accept them. And that's what I want to fix. I want to show you can be an edgy, kind of dumb fuck, whatever. You can enjoy the lay, stupid arslers, wrecked and owned, whatever. You can enjoy all that without being a bad person. You don't have to be a bad person to have fun. That's what the right sells you. The right sells you fun and camaraderie from other people looking for fun. And the left needs to do a better job of that too. And then maybe, you know, people like Kyle Rittenhouse, maybe not necessarily him himself, but people like Kyle Rittenhouse, when they grow up, even if they lean very far right growing up, you know, they have a feeling and understanding that at any point, it is possible for them to move back. It's possible. One of the first things that cults will do is isolate you from the outside world, say they'll never accept you, so you have to stick with us. Sorry. And they're a cult. We have to break that feeling, you know? It's also another one of the reasons why there are so many more right-leaning grifters than there are left-leaning grifters. And there are left-leaning grifters, but people are more willing to jump to the right, not just because there's more money there, but because they know the right is way more accepting of people who have an unorthodox past ideologically. So, not to say we should make ourselves more open to grifters or anything like that, but generally speaking, like there are better. Who's a left-wing grifter? Yours truly, buddy. I'm just here for the dono. Bring me the donos. Bring them in, people. Where are those subs? I see white names in chat. You know what I'm talking about.